你好，欢迎回来, happy news, etc. Welcome back. Hope your week is off to a great start. We're going to pick it back up with some Mandarin learning. I had a pretty busy day yesterday, so I had to take a break day, so hopefully we're not too rusty. Do you play games in the evening?
你
你 the evening 晚上
晚上
晚上玩游戏
玩游戏吗？
吗 Let's try it.
晚上你玩游戏吗？
晚上你玩游戏吗？
我上午10点起床。我上午10点起床。我上午10点起床。
我上午10点起床 I get up at 10 a.m.
起床，起床，早
起
上，
床 What is this?
早上，
早上
早上，上课，
上课
上课，点，
点
点，早上，
早上
早上，
It is 9 p.m. I believe it's
现在，
现在 9 isn't Joe, is it? It's Joe, okay.
9
Joe 点
点，
maybe we should say 晚上
9点，晚上，9点，
现在晚上9点。
现在晚上9点 My son gets up to wake up. 5点30分
我儿子早上5点30分起床。
我儿子早上5点30分起床 Maybe. I mean, it's not the worst. Chinese elementary school students go to school. Chinese elementary school student. Yep. Go to school at 8 in the morning. So that's Zhao Chen. Zhao.
中的放学，早上，
早上 elementary school.
小早上，
早上 eight. I think it's 八
8点，
Let's try it.
中国的小学生早上8点上学。
上学 Chinese elementary school students. 8点上学 I didn't say school. School is 上学 I thought school was 学校. What is 上学? Go to school means go to school. 上学 means go to school, go to school. So school is 学校, but 上学 is go to school. Okay. What time do they finish class in the evening? 他们 finish class. 下课晚上 evening is 晚上
晚上Do they finish class? 上课 What time? 下课
It's not right, but
他们晚上几点下课？
几点下课他们晚上几点下课 Close, we were close. 你下午几点运动
我下午运动3点运动
我下午3点运动。
我下午3点运动 Exercise 运动 Chinese middle school students finish school at 5 p.m. 中国的中学生 finish school at 5 p.m. Yeah. 下午 finish school, right? No.
下午5点
Middle school students, Chinese middle school students finish school
放学
Maybe.
中国的中学生下午5点放学。
One more time.
中国的中学生下午5点放学。
中国的中学生下午5点放学。中国的中学生下午5点放学。Morning, late morning. Late morning. 上午 上午
上午
上午 late morning 上午
上学
上学上学
上学上午
上午
上午中午
中午
中午上班
上班上班
上班
to eat 吃饭
吃饭
吃饭中午中午12点
现在中午12点。
12现在中午12点
现在中午12点。
现在中午12点下午 go to work no 下班translate 下班
下班
下班 As a disciplined person with a wealthy lifestyle, what would be part of your routine? I often eat something. I 晚上9点 Hello. Thanks for stopping by. Rictus. 你好. We're trying to figure out, as a disciplined person with a healthy lifestyle, what would be part of your routine? 我晚上9点30分睡觉. So this is going to bed at 11. That seems like a reasonable thing to do. 30分起床. See, I forget what 起床 is. 起床 is to get out of bed. Let's go. We're going to bed at 11.
我晚上
All right.
9点30分睡觉。
9:30. 30分. Oh, 9:30分. What time do you have class in the morning? To have class. To go to class. Go to class is 上课. 上课.
你们上午几点上课？
你们上午几点上课? My boss starts work at 10 a.m. To go to work is 上课, 上班, 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 上班.
我老板上午10点上班。
我老板上午10点上，我老板上午10点上班。Impressive. Oh, here we go again.
中国
中国的
小学生
Go to school. Go to school is 上学8点 in the early morning is
早上
上
8点上学
Let's try it.
中国的小学生早上8点上学。
Wow, that one is a mouthful. 中国的小学生早上8点上学. What time do they finish class? In the evening. In the evening is 晚上他们
晚上
晚上 finish classes. I thought it was 下课, but I don't think it is. Finish class is 下课, okay.
几点下课？
他们晚上几点下课？
他们晚上几点下课? All right, we completed the lesson. 60-day streak. Teacher talk. All right, we got 4 minutes. We can listen to one of these.
Hello, everyone. I'm Yan.
Hey, Yen.
And I'm Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Welcome to our teacher talk. In this teacher talk, we're talking about how to read time in Chinese. And trust me, it's not the numbers that make this tricky.
Yeah, we're going to cover all sorts of things to do with the Chinese concept of time, but let's start with how Chinese speakers read minutes, specifically with and without a zero. So in the course, we learned how to read times without a zero, like 10点5分, 10:05. But in spoken Chinese, when the minute number is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, Chinese speakers almost always add ling, the zero, before it.
So 10:05 would be 10点05分, and 2:02 would become 2点02分. So it's actually very similar to English when you say 10:05, 2:02. The ling is basically the Chinese version of O. They both mean zero.
Yeah, and I think this has something to do with balance. Maybe like having the, 十点is like two numbers, and so we need like two numbers on the other side. I mean, I say this over and over again about Chinese, about like just like we need to put the same number of things on each side to like balance out the characters or something so they don't fall over.
For aesthetic, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's my theory at least. But yeah, then beyond this with the zero, there's also the question of how do we say two? When do we use R and when do we use liang? The two ways to say two in Chinese.
The rule is for the hour, like 2点, we use 两, but for minutes, like 2分 or 02分 or 22分, any two that appears in the minute, we use 二. So 2:02.
Hey, thank you for stopping by. I'd like to learn Chinese because I think it's an interesting and challenging language. I like language in general. Ya puedo hablar en español y también puedo hablar en inglés. Y por eso I would like to learn another language. I would like to spend a little bit of time in China. I would like to visit the various cities and provinces. I'd like to spend some time over there. I think it's a powerful language just for being able to communicate with billions of other people. I think that it's something that I would like to at least try, test myself, see if I can become medium conversational. Like, I debate this actually. I know that there's, in the next 15, 20 years, we'll probably have real-time translation technology that you don't really need to learn languages. But I feel like if I can, I've seen some videos of people going to China and they are American or they're not Chinese and they're speaking the language, and it just seems to be very appreciated. And I like that. I like the challenge of it. I like that there seems to be um, I don't know, support. It seems like I've been posting on Bilibili and I've been getting a lot of positive support there, and it makes me feel like, okay, like this is something that is interesting, and I've been just trying to learn more things this year. I've been reading more books and trying to put more into my brain. And this is a powerful tool. It's both good for personal development, it's good for business development, it's good for the opportunity to travel. I have some friends that would like to visit China, and I think it would be pretty cool if I already had a year or two of language learning under my belt to make me a little bit more capable, and have more meaningful and fun conversations. I've done some traveling around the world, and the ability to communicate, it just opens up all the quest bubbles. Like you can go places and things might happen that might not have happened otherwise if you didn't understand the language. Just having conversations with people in places could be much more interesting with some mastery of the language. Excellent. Cool. I'm curious, does this help you learn English at all? Because that's one of the objectives of this stream is I imagine that if I'm learning Mandarin, it can be helpful for learning English as well. So I hope you're enjoying. I hope that you're following along, and let's keep listening to Maggie and Chris.
Would become 2:02分.
Are you based in
Yeah,
China?
that seems straightforward enough. Hour use liang, and minutes use r.
Mm-hmm. Just like a formula, right?
How is English progressing
Yeah.
for you? I've heard
I don't
English
know.
is very
People
hard
are
to learn.
generally pretty forgiving about the difference between the two. So if you can't remember, try it, and they will correct you for sure. But it's understandable.
That's one way too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you can't remember, just try it because that's the way to learn.
Ni hao.
So I think the next thing that is interesting about talking about times is when to say the word fen and when not to say the word fen. And so I think this goes back to my balance theory, is that you can drop the word fen when there are two or more characters in the minute column. So like between dian and fen. So, for example, if you had 2:15, 2:15, like 15 is two characters. It's above the number 10. It's above the number 9, I guess. And so because there are two characters on that side, we actually don't need to say the word fen. We can say 2:15. And that's totally acceptable, right?
Mm-hmm. And let me give you another example. So for something like 2:55, in Chinese it is 2:55. So there are 55, three characters between 点 and 分, right? So again, in this case, we can drop the 分 and say 2:55. And even 2:05, 2:05 can become 2:05. Why? The reason is that 05 also counts as two characters, so you can drop the 分.
Yeah, so if there's only one character between the dian and fen, then you need to keep that fen at the end. So, where we started with, you can say 2:05, and that's totally fine. But if you only have one number after the dian, it sounds like you're just talking about numbers with decimal points. Because in Chinese, 1.5, 3.5, like that just sounds like 1.5, 3.5, and it sounds like we've departed from time altogether, and we've just gone to maybe we're going to do a little bit of math now.
Yeah, that's true. So I think this theory also applies to 10 past 2. So you cannot drop the 分 in 2:10 because we cannot add a 0 before 10, right? We've said we only add 0 before 1 to 9. 十 is just one character, so you cannot say 2:10. But for numbers like 20, 40, or 50, they all have two characters, so you're perfectly fine saying 2:20 for 2:20 or 2:40 for 2:40.
Yeah, okay, so that's the kind of roundabout way of getting to the fact that you can drop fen all the time, basically, except for at 10 past the hour. Then you must say 10 and put fen afterwards. 十分. That's the only one that is, it's required. One special word that you might have heard already, which is the word for 30 minutes past the hour. So basically, you never hear someone saying 30分, 2:30, using it that way. Everyone's going to use this word 半 to mean half, right?
Okay.
Maybe in formal settings, like maybe in the news or in some official announcement, people would use 30分, but in everyday conversation, we barely say that.
Yeah, so since we've been sticking with 2 o'clock, you might get for 2:30, we're going to say 2点半 to mean 2:30, 2.5.
Yeah, so 半 here means half, so half an hour, of course, it means.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe because it's fourth tone, I always kind of imagining that I'm taking the hour and going ban and chopping it in half.
Wow, that's okay. That's a creative way.
Yeah, you will find that exactly in 0 textbooks across the Chinese learning world.
Only in Hello Chinese.
Yeah. And then there is the issue. Now we're getting away from kind of talking specifically about hours and minutes. It's about how Chinese people block time. And I find most of them pretty intuitive. It's kind of like 2-3 hour blocks. They usually line up with English pretty well, except for noon, which, in English is like 1 single minute at when it turns 12 o'clock. But in Chinese, the equivalent word that often gets translated to noon is 中午. And that is like a 2-hour window from like 11 to 1, 11 to 1:30, 11 to whenever people come back into the office after they have their lunch and take a nap.
Yeah, so precise, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Chinese divide the day based on daily routine, and that explains the 2-hour window. So we don't have a strict clock time. And okay, I'd say 早上 is early morning, so roughly from 5 to 8 or 9, the time that you wake up, go to work, the most miserable time. And 上午 goes from then until lunchtime, so the time you work or while you're in a lesson. And 中午, as you said, covers around 11 to 1 or 2, so it's the time when people eat or maybe sometime nap. 下午 then goes from after lunchtime until the end of the workday. And the last one, 晚上, starts around 6 or 7 and lasts until midnight. So the time that you spend at home after work.
In the evening.
Yeah. And there are some for the middle of the night too, but let's save that for a later teacher talk.
Yeah, it's too early for this teacher talk.
Yeah. Yeah, so that the 中午 was like infuriating to me at first because people would say, I'll see you at noon, and just like could be any time. But you get used to it. You kind of get into the flow of Chinese life. Certainly easier than trying to fight against it, I have to say.
Yeah, that's the Chinese time zone.
Yeah, embrace it. And the last piece is just something that I've noticed, and kind of, I guess, a question for you, is that in daily conversation, Chinese uses a 12-hour time system. But then you go to places like train stations or airports or hospitals, and you see 24-hour clocks everywhere. And I don't know, in my experience, most countries lean heavily toward one or the other, but China seems to use both, kind of 50-50.
Okay, I assume that's a way to balance convenience and habit because from what I've seen online and in real life, the 24-hour system is mostly used in formal or official settings because it just avoids confusions, right? But in everyday conversation, people would naturally use the 12-hour system because it feels more natural, more intuitive. So if you walk around saying everything in 24-hour time, it would sound overly dramatic. And meanwhile, in places like airports, the 24-hour system, I would say, is a lifesaver because otherwise, half of the country will show up at 12 p.m. just to find out their 12 a.m. flight already landed in Italy a few hours ago.
I've managed my whole life with the 12-hour time, but perhaps there's some truth to it.
Yeah, maybe Chinese, I don't know, maybe from 100 years ago, they are also only using 12-hour system, but they have learned from their experience, learned their lesson. They miss their fight too often, so they turn it into 24 hours clock. Who knows?
I mean, I have some serious doubts, but I love the answer that like, oh man, we just keep missing our flights. What are we gonna do about this? Yeah. Okay. So that's our theory. I think what you can take away from this is I can't promise any of that is true, but yeah, in formal settings you're gonna see 24-hour clocks being used.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
maybe that's not inconsistent. It's just practical.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that is a few things about how to say times in Chinese, both at the kind of minute hour level and then zooming out to the time of day and then the full day level. So I think we've done it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for your time, and we will see you
Thank
in
you,
the next
Maggie.
teacher talk.
Thank you,
Bye
Chris.
bye.
Bye bye.
That was a good teacher talk. It's interesting. Dian Wufen. Liang Dian Wufen. Done. Hey, I think that was a pretty good lesson. I want to thank you all for being out here, and I hope that this is informative for you. We're going to pick it back up tomorrow around the same time. Enjoy the rest of your day. Find some time to smile, and we'll see you again tomorrow. 再见, friends. And thanks for the commentary. I appreciate that. It's nice to know that I'm not alone out here. So thanks. Cheers. Have a good rest of your day.